Hello, how you doing? This is Neil, the art instructor at Master Paint Now and Udemy. So you can check out the link to my website in the description of this video, and also links to other stuff. Right, so this is for my video game, Magic vs. Monsters. It's out on Google Play now, but I wanted to do a different game, I guess, menu to play. So there'll be some more buttons over here, but anyway, I want to do a different menu. Because the other one I kind of rushed it. It was okay. It was like on the spot, and I made it too literal. I kind of went against my rules from my course. But anyway, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do magic around hands. So this is basically how to do like really cool magic effect and how you can draw it in different ways. Maybe you can like do different kinds of magic that you want to do. Right. So let's go and get started on that. But basically, I broke one of my rules here at the original design of trying to be too literal with your design. And so anyway, that's from my course on how to paint with Manga Studio, which is really just how to digitally paint in general, but using Manga Studio. But you can really use that same knowledge to digitally paint on any program. Right, so anyway, check out Magic vs. Monsters. It's free, it's super addicting. If you like Plants vs. Zombies and Bejeweled, I think you really like my game, because it's a really nice blend of those two things. Right, so let's go ahead and get started here doing the magic on the hand. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a certain kind of color. That's the color of magic I want. Now, since the background it's like really blue and stuff, I want it to kind of stand out from that. So I'm going to do kind of maybe like maybe a red or even pink like the rest of her. I don't want to use too many colors. And I got to decide, okay, how do I want the magic to look? Do I want it to be kind of round? Do I want it to be more like electricity? I want it to be like electricity. I'm going to use my ink pen here, and I can kind of come around like this. Kind of add this sort of electric look to it, and you can have little breaks in it and things like that. Coming all the way around the hand, intertwining itself, however you want it to look. That's one way you could do magic. The idea is going to be the same when it's done. Now I'm going to do like maybe a circle like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the marquee tool here, the ellipsis marquee, which is under here, and I can make an ellipsis here, and I can move it around. I'm going to go to, let's see here, I got the color there, edit, and I'm going to go to outline selection. I'm outlining it with 2 to see if that's thick enough, and that looks like it'll work. Then I'm going to take my ink brush tool, and down here with the 3 different colors, I'm going to choose a transparent color, which turns it in effect to a eraser. I'm just going to kind of erase some of this here, kind of coming out from the center, just because I don't want a perfect circle. Like so. Now that's the beginning of the magic. There's still a lot more to go, obviously. But I like this idea, so I'm going to do another circle. This one will be, let's see, I'll make it a little bit smaller, somewhere around there. And I don't want it to be like a perfect, I don't want it to be perfect inside either. Let's go ahead and outline selection again, 2 pixels. Okay, I don't know why that didn't work. Hold on a second, I don't know what just happened. Oh, that's why, I need the color selected. Make sure you go back to your color. Outline selected, okay. Same thing again, I'm going to use that ink brush and make little lines throughout it here. Right, like so. Now next what I want to do is I want some actual vertical, or I don't know if they're vertical, lines coming out from the center coming outwards. And then I'll have other little bubbles and stuff as well that I'll add onto it. I want to take these though first. I'm going to go to make a copy of this layer. So left click on this layer, scroll down here, let go. Let's go to filter and blur, and I'll do Gaussian blur. This is to give my magic a little bit of glow to it like that. So it has kind of a glowy context to it. That looks pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple more circles here now. I'm going to put those together. And let's have another circle, like let's say right about here. And we'll go to edit. Make sure you have the color on. Go to edit, outline selection, and click OK. Now the same thing is with this one here, I don't know if I'm going to break it up. I might just leave it like that. I might just go ahead and go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Oh, did I put that all in one layer? I think I did. Okay, let me go ahead and back out of that real quick. I meant to make a new layer here. And outline selection, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. That should work. And I'm going to kind of break this up just a little bit with my ink brush tool. I just don't want it to be like absolutely perfect circle here. Something like that. You can even like add little circles inside there and kind of break it up. Now I can take that circle now, make a copy of it, and I can kind of place it around wherever I want there to be more magic, and then just turn down the size here and there. Make it even smaller, like so. Go back to that original layer, make a copy of it, because you always want to use the original layer and then shrink it down. It'll look better. So I think something like that kind of makes a kind of a triangle pattern between all of them. So it's starting to look pretty cool. Now I want a couple vertical lines. And with these, I'm just going to draw them just straight out like this. Let's see, I'm going to have to get this just right. Now actually, there's a trick in Manga Studio I forgot about. It's kind of cool. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is make a new layer. I'm going to color this layer so I remember. And then over here, now normally this might be set to like the direct draw, might have that icon, but this is where it's under. Then you have ruler up here. You want to scroll down to special ruler. And under the tool properties, if you don't have tool properties, just go to window and make sure you have tool properties right here. And I'm going to make this focus line. Just click where you want the focus line to start from, which will be right here. Now as that ruler, I can always take this ruler, I can show the ruler, or I can not show it, I can delete it, and so forth. So for now, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to use my pen tool. I'm going to probably turn the size of my pen down. And I'm going to change these right here. I don't like this order, so I'm going to make this come down here. Just changing order of some things real fast. Use a size 6, see how that, maybe a size 10, see how that works. Now, how I like to do is kind of pull toward it, and in this case, I'm going to have it like intersecting with here. Okay, that's, for some reason it wasn't working how I want it to. I want to make it thicker in the middle and then kind of come out like that. Maybe have one right here, there, a couple littler ones. So I'm going to make just a couple that are not as big, and I want one coming off this way here that's much brighter. A couple of thinner ones, maybe one right next to it. Again, pulling toward it I think works better. Alright, like so. I like to have a couple next to the big one. I think it looks kind of cool. Right, so I have these two bigger ones here that we're going to intersect, and I want one more like right here. The reason why I have them intersect bigger right there is so I can have a burn mark, like a hot mark, and I'll show you what that looks like in a bit. We still got a little bit of ways to go before this magic effect is finished. Now I could alter the perspective of it, but I want to do that after it's all finished. Right, so we're getting pretty close to like where I kind of want it, but I want to go ahead and add some other types of little blur marks, things like that. So let's go ahead and pick our tool here, and we'll add slightly whiter color here. Make another layer once again, just in case. I like making extra layers just in case you end up not liking it. So choose different colors here. Oh, different sizes, not colors, sorry. For these intersects, I want kind of a brighter part here. I'm doing this with a mouse. Like so. Let's have a couple more of this side. Let's say this size here. And then we'll have a couple that are around this size right here. Alright, that looks pretty cool. It's starting to look pretty magical. Alright, now next I might want to add some kind of like blur effect brush with the airbrush here. With the same color, but maybe just a little bit lighter. Make sure it's on normal. And I'm going to use a really big brush. Super big, actually. Like so. It depends on the resolution how big you have to make your brush. Just going to kind of cover it with a little bit of that magic, and then Let's take it down in size, like so. Now I want to kind of add some sort of like maybe a texture effect to some other parts of the thing, and I got to decide what kind of texture brush I want to use, or if I want to just use a straight texture itself. Right, so I think I'm going to try one of these, the noise here. So you go to the Windows, and then you want to go to your materials. I'm going to go, and then over here you see the material pops up once you click on that. I'm going to texture, then monochromatic, and down here I scroll down to one called the 25% noise. And then I want to, see, I guess I'll drag that onto the layer and see, make sure that's on its own separate layer, and it is. Use a really big eraser brush here. I'm going to start erasing everywhere I don't want this stuff to be. Like that, and then I'm going to kind of fan it out to where the magic kind of goes out a ways. Like so, and then I'm going to set that layer to poly overlay. And let's zoom back into the magic. Turn the opacity way down on that kind of effect. Like so, and you can do different kinds of textures. You can bring in some kind of like watery texture or something like that, put it over there. Okay, now I think is where the fun begins, is when you start adding the glow to everything. So let's go ahead and start merging. Actually, let's go ahead and get rid of that real quick. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to get rid of everything that I don't want to appear. So basically I'm going to uncheck all the layers that are not the magic itself. That's magic, that's magic. And then magic versus monsters is up here still somewhere. Let's bring this down so it's all together. Alright, cool. And it looks like everything that's now visible should be just that magic I did. Awesome. This should work. Let's go layer and merge with layer below, combine showing layer. And then I can go ahead and delete the ruler because I don't need it no more. And now I can start bringing back the other layers. I'm going to save this. You want to save often just in case you don't want to actually lose a bunch of stuff. Alright, so for me this is where the fun begins. You have this layer that has all the magic on it, which is right here I believe. I'm going to make that layer yellow so I remember it's my magic. You can also name it too, but I don't feel like naming it. I just use colors, it's faster. Let's go back to the airbrush, and for the tool here I want to choose add glow. Choose like a slightly different color, maybe more towards the purple or blue, or even the kind of bluish color here, and kind of start adding just a little bit of glow to some of this. Take a smaller, just where you see some of the interacting of magic pieces here. You can add a little more glow there. And then I want to kind of come around just the edge of the circle and some of the lines here. I could have kept the ruler on for making this part here if I wanted to make it absolutely perfect. And you can use even a smaller brush if you want to, get really tiny, really zoom in. That way you can just get right in the middle of some of this here like this. Now you don't have to go to this level of detail, but I think it looks cool when you do this. Just come right in the center of some of this here. Some of it I'm going to kind of put right next to lines. I'm going to have a couple little shapes like this. I want a couple little interesting shapes here and around. Another thing I could have done is I could have zoomed in right away to do this. You can also use a concentric ruler, which allow you to draw like circles around like this. You can like draw perfectly around. But just I think just zooming in and just doing little lines at a time is enough to get perfect enough. But again, if you want it to be more perfect, you can do that. I'm not so sure if I like that texture down. I already kind of committed to putting it there, but I think I might actually come in here and get rid of some of it with like little balls like this. You know, it's still on its own layer right now, so it's not really mixing with the background yet. I'm still going to do that as well. I'm going to mix the magic in the background right now. I just want to kind of get rid of a lot of that texture. Not really liking it so much, so. Just kind of doing some bigger balls and smaller balls coming all the way around here. Alright, so at this point now, I can go ahead and add to the background layer some of this magic as well. So you can make it affect the background if you want to. Right, so now I might have went a little overboard with the glow there. You don't have to add that much glow. I was just trying to get rid of some of that texture I had there, which I really didn't like. And anyways, it's just to kind of show the idea of how you can do it. Now I might actually go ahead and redo that one, just because I didn't like that texture and I already committed to the texture being there, so that is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and erase the background here. It doesn't look bad, but I don't know, not really too happy with it. Alright, now let's try to go ahead and go edit. I'll just show you this last little part, transform, free transform. It's on its own separate layer, so let's go ahead and actually select just it, right? We're going like that maybe. Transform and then free transform. This will kind of allow us to change the perspective to where I want it to kind of look like it's following her hand. So kind of coming out toward us a bit like that. And then you're done. Right, so there it is. I think it looks pretty cool. Again, I think it could look better. Maybe a different color would have looked better. I don't know. One thing you could try out is just see the different colors, how they would look. Go to hue and saturation here. And then just slide this scale across to see that's what yellow would look like. Kind of a green color. I like that kind of green blue, looks kind of cool. Kind of a purple color. Kind of blue white, which matches the background. I don't know, I kind of like that green. That was kind of interesting. The yellow and then like the green looks pretty cool. And there you have it. So now she has magic on her hands. Now, if I want to do a different kind of magic here, I could. We could do something like a lightning or electricity. Maybe I'll say that for a different tutorial on how to draw lightning. It's actually a really similar technique. You kind of like draw the hard shape in the color you want it, and then you take the add glow button and kind of go around little parts of it inside the lightning and a little bit outside, add a little bit of blur, couple layers around it, and yeah, it's really similar to how I did the outlines to make them look like glow. Pretty much any neon tutorial, it's kind of very similar to that, but you just do a lightning type shape. But I might go ahead and do it. Anyway, and let me know. If you guys want a lightning tutorial, let me know, and I can do a lightning tutorial. For now, though, I'll probably just go ahead and finish this off with something like fire and flame or something like that. Let's see here. Let's take the color I have over here because I like it. It's pretty cool. And let's see here. Hold down the Alt key. I'm going to kind of pick a greenish color like this to do magic with. And I accidentally turned off her line layer. Make a new layer here. And I'll add it maybe a little bit to where it's a little bit like lightning, so kind of a similar effect maybe to lightning, sort of, but it's not quite. I want it to be more like, almost like, I don't know, like flame kind of, but not quite. Sort of like that. So I think that's kind of cool. Now all you have to do, this again, the same thing you would do if you were doing like lightning or something. Copy this layer. Now the layer underneath that one, go to Filter, Blur. I'm going to go Gaussian Blur. You got to decide how much blur you want to it to make it really stand out there. I'm going to make maybe one more. That's pretty cool. I'll make one more blur layer, I think. But this time I'm not going to blur it quite as much. We'll go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. I'm going to turn this down so it's not as blurry. I'm going to turn this layer down to like there. I'm going to turn this one down a little bit too, like that. Right, now I can go ahead and merge those two layers together. Let's go ahead and use green, so I know this is the green magic on this side. And there you have it. So now all you have to do is take your tool here, maybe turn to a little bit of a yellowish color, add glow to the airbrush, and start adding a little bit of glow to the middle here, like so. And I like to have it glow around the shape itself as well. And so I like to just put it right into the background. I think it looks cooler that way. But you could start it like this, and then I'll add a little bit of like regular airbrushing as well. So let's go to normal. And let's just add a little bit of that kind of color all around here. So it kind of has this kind of glow all the way around, where the sort of like that. Now let's go back to add glow. Kind of take a really small brush here. I'm going to kind of just add in some of the glow. And if you take it really, really small, you can come right into the center of the glow areas. Just add a little bit here and there. Where the things overlap, I like to add more to really show that those parts are overlapping. Now there are many different ways and tricks to do things like magic and lightning, to where you don't have to do nearly as much painting. But I don't know, I like the fun of the painting part, so I like to go more this route. That way I'm still kind of getting the feeling and sense that I'm painting something, not just like doing a Photoshop trick, or in this case a Manga Studio trick or something. Okay, so it's starting to come through now. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger of a brush here and just kind of add a little more glow to some of these parts. Something like that. And if I want that to be brighter, I can always make a copy of that layer. And I can set this to like add glow, and that's like a little too much, so I can set it to overlay. See if that doesn't, it just brightens up a little bit more. And then I can merge that together. Let's take my eraser tool here now. I'm going to kind of erase some of this around here so it's like got different shapes. And then you can also use like a blend tool or fingertip, blur by fiber. Let's just use like this kind of blend tool here. You can kind of pull the edges of some of this stuff and kind of pull it up. So kind of, see here, fingertip is what I want to use actually. That way you can kind of pull it and take that shape. So it's almost like coming like smoke at the top here. I'm going to take my airbrush tool here. I want to definitely add more brightness to the center here. Make it look more like magic coming off. Right, and I don't know, that green kind of doesn't show up too well against the background, being blue. So I could make the background a little bit dark if I wanted to. Let's try that, just as a test here. One thing, I can just copy this layer by dragging it over here and letting go. And let's set that to multiply. Just see what happens if we have, let's go ahead and copy it one more time, double multiply. It definitely makes the magic stick out a little bit more, but actually I kind of like the, I don't know, I think I like the light background better. And so the only way to make it really stand out more is if I were to like add more to the, add another layer like this and then set it to add glow or soft light. Let's see here. I'm just seeing which ones change it, how much they change it. Okay, so those are pretty much the same. Just add in the color dodge. Yeah, they're pretty much the same. That makes it a little too much, but I can always, you know, maybe come in here with the eraser tool now, or airbrush tool, and set it to normal and then transparent in the color. And I can kind of come here and just erase some of this, maybe. Let's try. So the only thing I can really think about doing now is maybe just changing the color. Let's try that. Something that might show up. Ah, now purple shows up pretty cool now. Alright, now let's zoom in a little bit here with the airbrush tool again. Make it really tiny, size 2. Go to add glow. And just add little bits of glow right here like that. Another way to add lightning is just adding glow right over a background color. So I think that looks pretty cool. Alright, so yeah, it kind of shows you those different magics. I forgot about that, because in the game you use different color magics. You use blue, red, and green. So the green's there. This isn't quite red, so I could try to make it red. I mean, again, you don't have to get all super literal, but it's, you know, be kind of cool if it sort of had that idea to it, like so. And maybe even go to color balance here. Let's go to highlight. Let's add a little more red. And maybe the shadow, and add a little red to that too. Maybe not that one, maybe just this one. Alright, now that looks pretty cool. Again, if I wanted to, you know, I could add a couple more, you know, things of glow. It's just using different pressure with this will add different amounts. If you want it to be in the background, you know, you can actually draw in the background as well to add that into the background. So like so. And then I might go ahead and one more time here with the bigger brush. Just kind of, no, it's too much. I just want that part to be kind of bright. There we go. There you have it. So that's different kind of magic you can do. I don't know if I'm totally happy with this yet, but I like it. It's pretty cool. I think it, if I took my time a little more, I could have done something a little different. But it's pretty cool. I like it. Right, so you know, just use that kind of technique, that idea, take that idea, use different shapes and stuff like that, and then, you know, using different blur effects, and then using the glow tool, and you can make different kinds of neon type of magics and stuff. You know, and on the game it's look more like this. You know, when you actually see it, it'll look more like that. But right now you're going to see my older, sloppier, really quick work I did until this gets uploaded. But by the time you're watching this, maybe it's already uploaded. So yeah, this will be the cover. And it's really cool. Definitely try the game. I'll be making a video just showing some gameplay, some tricks to make you better at the game. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to watch, and stay tuned for future stuff coming out. And go ahead and leave a comment on stuff you'd like to see in the future if you'd like to see something different.